Let me ask you something gently. When was the last time you walked through your home and truly felt at peace? Not the kind of quiet that comes from turning off the television or stepping into the backyard. I mean real peace. The kind that settles in your chest like a deep exhale. The kind that says, "This space supports me. It doesn't weigh me down." Over the years, our homes fill up, slowly, quietly, with things. Some of them useful, some sentimental, and some, if we're being honest, we don't even remember why we kept. But here's something no one tells you as you grow older. Letting go doesn't mean losing. Letting go means making space for calm, for comfort, and for the life you're living now. So today, I want to walk with you. Not to judge, not to overwhelm, just to gently point out 10 everyday items that may be cluttering your home and stealing your peace without you even noticing. This isn't about becoming a minimalist. It's about becoming intentional. It's about creating a home that feels light, clear, and truly yours again. So let's take a breath together, and let's begin. 1. Expired beauty and skincare products. Let's begin in a quiet corner of the home, the bathroom. Take a moment to open that drawer or cabinet under the sink. What do you see? Half-used lotions, an old bottle of perfume, maybe a jar of cream you tried once and forgot about, lipsticks that have dried out, foundations that no longer match your skin. We all have them. We keep these things because they were expensive or gifts, or simply because we meant to use them someday. But here's the truth. These products don't last forever. After a certain point, they stop doing what they're meant to do, and in some cases, they can even cause harm. Expired skincare and makeup can carry bacteria. That means every time you dip your finger into an old jar or use that mascara that's been sitting there for years, you may be putting something unhealthy onto your skin. Letting go of these items isn't wasteful, it's thoughtful. Your skin deserves better, and so do you. So here's a gentle idea. Take everything out, one by one, check the labels, open the lids. Has the smell changed? Has the color or texture shifted? If something doesn't feel right, or if you haven't used it in over a year, it's time to let it go. Keep only what still works, what feels good, and what fits who you are today. Your bathroom doesn't need to be a storage space for forgotten products. It can be a calm, clean place that supports your daily routine with ease. After all the care you've given to others over the years, it's okay to care for yourself now. Something as simple as reaching for a fresh lotion or using a product you truly love. Those little moments matter, and they begin with clearing space for what truly serves you now. 2. Gifts you feel guilty keeping. Now let's move to a more tender space, the shelves, the drawers, the boxes, where sentimental things live. We're talking about the gifts you've kept not because you love them, but because you felt guilty letting them go. Maybe it's a decorative bowl from a cousin you haven't seen in years, a scarf from a friend that never suited your style, a kitchen gadget from a grandchild that's never been used. These things were given with love, and that matters. But the truth is, the gift already fulfilled its purpose the moment it was given. The act of giving, that was the connection. Keeping the item out of guilt doesn't make the memory more real. It just adds weight to your home and to your heart. It's easy to think, I can't get rid of that, it was a gift. But what if you could reframe it? What if letting go was not rejection, but release? You're not discarding the relationship. You're simply choosing to surround yourself with things that bring you peace today. So here's something to try. Pick up one of those items, hold it gently. Remember who gave it to you. Say a quiet thank you for the love, for the thought, for the memory. Then ask yourself, does this still bring me joy? Does it reflect who I am now? If not, it's okay to let it go. You're not being selfish. You're being wise. You're making space in your home for the life you're living now, not the one you lived 10 or 20 years ago. And that, my friend, is a beautiful act of self-respect. 3. Extra coffee mugs and water bottles. Let's step into the kitchen for a moment. Open that cabinet, the one with the mugs. You probably already know which one I mean. Maybe when you open it, a few mugs tumble forward. Maybe you have to shuffle through them just to find the one you actually use every morning. Over time, mugs tend to multiply. One from a vacation, one from a holiday gift, another with a funny saying, a few that came in a set. Before you know it, there are 20 mugs on the shelf, and yet you reach for the same 2 or 3 every day. The same thing happens with water bottles. Free ones from events, fancy ones you bought with good intentions, a few that leak, and others you forgot you even had. These things seem small, but they take up valuable space, and they create small moments of frustration that add up. Having too many options doesn't make life easier. It actually slows you down. Digging through a crowded shelf first thing in the morning just to get to your favorite mug doesn't feel peaceful. It feels like a chore. So here's a simple and satisfying task. Pull them all out, every mug, every bottle, line them up on the counter, then ask yourself, which ones do I actually use? Which ones do I truly enjoy? Keep just those. Let the rest go. Donate them to a local shelter, a community center, or anyone who could use them. Someone out there might be starting their day with nothing, and that extra mug you never use could be the one they cherish. By releasing the extras, you create more ease in your everyday routine. Your kitchen becomes a place of calm, not clutter. And sometimes, something as small as reaching for your favorite mug in the morning, that one moment of comfort, can set the tone for a peaceful day. You deserve that kind of start. 4. Old, worn-out towels and linens. Now, let's take a quiet walk to the linen closet. Open the door and take a look inside. What do you see? Towels that are frayed at the edges, sheets that have lost their softness, pillowcases with stains that never quite came out, no matter how many times you washed them. They still work, technically. You tell yourself, I'll use them for cleaning, or, what if I need extras someday? So they stay, and they pile up. But here's the gentle truth. Your home is not a backup supply closet. It's your sanctuary, and you deserve comfort every single day. Fresh, soft towels and clean, cozy sheets are not luxuries. They're part of taking care of yourself. When you step out of the shower, when you lie down at night, when you wrap up after a long day, these simple items should make you feel good, not tolerated, not second best, just cared for. So let's go through them, slowly and kindly. Pull out each towel, each sheet, each pillowcase. Feel the texture. Look at the color. Is it soft? Is it clean? Does it still make you feel good? Keep what's fresh, what's functional, what's comforting. Let go of what no longer serves you. And here's a helpful idea. Many animal shelters, veterinary clinics, and even mechanics will gladly accept your worn-out linens. They can still serve a purpose, just not in your home. And maybe if it feels right, treat yourself to 1 or 2 new pieces, something that makes your daily routine just a little softer, a little more peaceful, because you've spent years caring for others. This small act is a way of caring for yourself, and you absolutely deserve that comfort now. 5. Clothes that no longer fit or flatter. Let's step into the closet now. Not just the physical one, but maybe the emotional one too. Stand in front of it and take a breath. How many pieces are hanging there that you haven't worn in years? Clothes that don't fit anymore. Clothes that never felt quite right. Outfits from a different season of life. A dress you wore to a wedding decades ago. Jeans you've been hoping to wear again someday. A blouse that still has the tag on it, but never made you feel like yourself. Letting go of clothing isn't just about making space on a hanger. It's about releasing the expectations we've placed on ourselves. It's about honoring how our bodies, our styles, and our lives have changed. And that change is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be proud of. You have lived through so many seasons. Your body has changed, your needs have shifted, and your sense of who you are has grown deeper. You deserve to open your closet and feel peace, not pressure, joy, not judgment, confidence, not guilt. So take your time. Try things on if you're not sure, not to critique yourself, but to check in. Ask gently, does this still serve the woman I am today? Does it feel good, inside and out? If it doesn't, let it go. Donate what's still in good condition. Pass it on to someone who might feel beautiful in it. There's no shame in outgrowing something, not just in size, but in season, in spirit, in identity. Keep only what makes you feel strong, comfortable, and completely yourself, because your closet should reflect the life you're living now, not the one you used to have or the one you hoped for someday. Just the beautiful truth of who you are today. 6. Old magazines and newspapers. Now let's walk over to that little table by the couch, or maybe it's a basket in the hallway, a shelf in the corner. Wherever they live, you probably have a stack of old magazines or newspapers sitting quietly, waiting. Maybe you saved them for a recipe you meant to try, an article you planned to read, a story you wanted to revisit someday. But let me ask gently, has that someday ever really come? If you're like most of us, those stacks have been there for months, maybe even years. Not because you're lazy, not because you forgot, but simply because life moved on. And that's perfectly okay. What's less okay is how those quiet piles start to affect how we feel. You walk past them and they don't just take up space. They whisper reminders of unfinished plans, things you haven't gotten around to. And slowly, that creates a subtle weight in your home and in your heart. Here's something to consider. Most of that information is now outdated. If it really matters, you can probably find it again online or at the library. So give yourself permission to let it go. Recycle what you can. Choose an afternoon, sit down with the stack, and be honest. If there's one article you truly still want to read, tear it out and keep just that. The rest, release it without guilt. Because clearing away physical clutter also clears emotional weight. Your space begins to feel lighter. Your mind feels freer. And if you still enjoy reading, consider going digital. No mess, no stacks, just what you need, when you need it. You deserve a home that reflects who you are today, not a space filled with silent to-do lists and unfinished intentions. A home that feels fresh, open, and easy to breathe in. 7. Random cords and old electronics. Let's turn our attention to a drawer we all have, the one filled with mystery. Maybe it's in the kitchen, maybe the hallway. You open it, and inside are tangled cords, old chargers, random remotes, batteries, plugs, and gadgets you haven't touched in years. Some you don't even recognize anymore. You might think, I should keep this, just in case. And that's understandable. Most of us were raised to be practical, to never waste, to hold on to things that might be useful one day. But let's be honest, technology moves fast. That phone charger from 10 years ago, it likely doesn't fit anything you use now. The remote control with no matching device, it's not coming back to life. And while just in case is a comforting idea, it's often a disguise for clutter that slowly builds stress. Here's what I suggest. Pull everything out. Every single cord, plug, adapter, and remote. Lay them on a table and look at them one by one. Ask yourself, do I even know what this belongs to? Do I still use the device it connects to? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. Keep only the cords that you actively use, and if it helps, label them clearly. For the rest, recycle them properly. Many local stores or community centers offer electronic waste recycling. While you're at it, take a look at any old phones, cameras, or devices hiding in drawers. If they're broken, outdated, or forgotten, they don't need to stay. Letting go of these items won't leave you unprepared. It will make you feel lighter. You'll be amazed at how much space, both physical and mental, opens up when the clutter is gone. You're not throwing away something useful. You're reclaiming clarity, and that is a gift you deserve. 8. Unused decorative items. Now let's look around the spaces we pass through every day. Your living room, your hallway, maybe the shelf above the fireplace. These are the places where decorative items quietly gather. Figurines from years ago, vases you no longer notice, old framed prints, little souvenirs from travels, gifts from friends, pieces that once felt meaningful but now mostly collect dust. It happens slowly, one item at a time, a gift here, a holiday piece there. And before we know it, the shelves are crowded, the tables feel busy, and the home, your sanctuary, starts to feel more like a display than a place to rest. Here's something I want you to consider. Just because something once had meaning doesn't mean it still belongs in your home today. It's okay to change. Your taste evolves, your space evolves, and your spirit deserves a home that reflects who you are now, not who you were 20 years ago. So take a quiet walk through your home, pick up each item and ask, does this still bring me joy? Do I still truly love this, or am I keeping it because I feel I should? The answer might surprise you. Letting go of decorative clutter doesn't mean you're being careless. It means you're being intentional. It means you're choosing peace over pressure. When we clear away the visual noise, the things that truly matter, the photo of your family, the vase you cherish, the painting that still moves you, those things finally have room to shine. Your home doesn't need to be filled to be beautiful. Sometimes the quietest spaces feel the most alive. 9. Excess Tupperware, especially the ones missing lids. Now, let's open one more cabinet in the kitchen. You know the one. It's where all the food containers live, or more accurately, where they spill out when you open the door. It likely started with a neat little set, a few containers with matching lids, stacked just right. But over the years, things changed. A lid went missing here, a container cracked there. You bought a few more to replace the old ones, but never threw out the extras. And now you're left with a mountain of mismatched plastic, most of which never gets used. It's a small frustration, but one that repeats every day. You try to find a lid that fits. You open the cabinet slowly to avoid the avalanche. And even though it seems like a minor inconvenience, the truth is, these little moments of stress add up, especially when they happen in the one place that should feel easy and nourishing, your kitchen. So let's make it simple. Pull everything out, every lid, every bottom, spread them out on the counter. Now take a few minutes to match them up. If a lid has no container, it goes. If a container has no lid, it goes. If something is warped, stained, cracked, or smells strange, let it go too. There's no need to hold on to frustration just because it still technically works. You don't need 30 containers, you need a few good ones. Containers that stack neatly, close tightly, and serve you well. And if you've been meaning to switch to glass or BPA-free plastic, this is a great moment to do so. A clean start, a fresh shelf. And here's something beautiful to remember. This isn't just about organizing Tupperware. It's about choosing ease over overwhelm. It's about giving yourself permission to simplify. And sometimes it's about recognizing that you no longer have to save every little thing just in case. Because after everything you've carried for others, you deserve a kitchen and a life that works for you. 10. Unused kitchen gadgets. Let's stay right here in the kitchen a little longer and take a look at something we often overlook. Those gadgets tucked away in cabinets and drawers. The waffle maker from when the grandkids were little. The electric can opener you haven't plugged in since the early 2000s. The spiralizer you used once for zucchini noodles. Maybe even a fondue set you thought would be fun, but never actually used. At the time, each of these seemed like a good idea. Some were gifts, some were bought with the hope of making life easier. And maybe, for a while, they did. But here's the honest question. When was the last time you used them? Not thought about them, not felt guilty about them, but actually used them? The truth is, most kitchens only need a handful of reliable tools, a good knife, a sturdy cutting board, a pan that always does the job. The rest? They often take up more space than they're worth. And when the drawers are hard to open, when you have to move 5 things just to reach the one you need, cooking becomes a chore instead of a joy. So let's be brave and clear-eyed. Pull them all out. Yes, all of them. The gadgets, the appliances, the tools you haven't touched in years. Ask yourself, is this something I truly use? Does it still work? Would I actually miss it if it were gone? If the answer is no, let it go. Donate it. Rehome it. Someone else might find joy in the very thing that's just gathering dust in your home. You don't need to be a gourmet chef. You just need a space that works for you. A kitchen that feels open, simple, and welcoming. Letting go of what you don't use doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing wisely. It means making room for comfort, for clarity, and for meals cooked with love, not stress. Because even the most ordinary dinner tastes better when it's made in a space that feels like home. A moment of reflection. What your home says about your life. Now that we've walked through these 10 categories, I want to offer something deeper, a reflection. Because this isn't just about items, it's about identity, about how your home reflects the life you're living now, not the one you used to live. Over time, we gather things for many reasons. To prepare, to remember, to hold on to people, places, moments we didn't want to lose. And that makes sense. But slowly, gently, our homes begin to speak. And the question is, what are they saying back to you? Are they telling you stories of joy, warmth, and who you've become? Or are they filled with quiet reminders of what you've outgrown, postponed, or no longer need? A crowded home doesn't mean a full life. In fact, sometimes the opposite is true. Sometimes the space we create by letting go becomes a space for new joy to enter, new rituals, new peace, new ways of caring for yourself. If you're feeling resistance, that's okay. Change doesn't have to be fast or overwhelming. Maybe you start with a single drawer, a single mug, a single pair of sheets. Maybe that small shift unlocks something, a sense of relief or pride, or even a little bit of lightness in your chest. That feeling? That's what we're after. And it builds over time. Here's something useful to remember. When you release what no longer serves you, you're not discarding your past. You're honoring it. You're saying, thank you for what you meant to me, and also, I'm ready for what comes next. That's not wasteful. That's wisdom. So if you need permission, let this be it. You have the right to live in a home that feels easy to move through. That gives you energy instead of draining it. That supports your daily rhythms instead of interrupting them. A space where everything has its place, and where you, most of all, feel at peace. So here we are. You've just taken a thoughtful walk through your home, not just with your eyes, but with your heart. And maybe in that quiet process, something shifted. Maybe a memory surfaced. Maybe a burden softened. Or maybe, for the first time in a long time, you felt like you have permission to let go. Remember this, letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean rejecting the past. It means honoring where you've been and choosing what supports you now. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to declutter your whole house in a weekend. Just start with one item, one drawer, one shelf. Let each small decision be an act of kindness toward yourself, because your home isn't just where you live. It's where your life unfolds, and it deserves to reflect the person you've become, not just the one you used to be. Before we part, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 10 categories felt the hardest to let go of, and why? Your story might help someone else feel understood, less alone. I read every message. If this video gave you something, a sense of peace, a moment of clarity, I invite you to share it with someone you care about. You've spent so much of your life giving. Now, it's time to create a space that gives back to you. Take good care of yourself. You matter here, always.